and welcome back to BW Business World. My name is Tarannum Manjul. I'm an assistant editor. And for those who have just joined in, yes, we've been dissecting and talking with the experts about the union budget that was presented by the Finance Minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, yesterday on a Sunday, in fact. And me and my colleagues from BW Business World, my experienced colleagues from BW Business World, did speak to few experts from various sectors across, various experts across sectors like technology, energy, agriculture, and also finance yesterday, in fact. And there were panel discussions about how the budget has impacted all these sectors. And continuing with that today, we just spoke to the players from the retail world, and now, in fact, we are talking to experts from education sector because, as we saw yesterday, education, of course, has always been one of the priorities of any budget in India. And today I am joined by some esteemed guests from across India who would be talking with me about who would be in fact looking at the budget through a learner's lens, and we will be discussing the hits and misses of the education sector. So, in fact, I would like to welcome all my panelists here. We have with us Mr. Akash Sharma, Director, Admission and Outreach, Noida International University. Welcome, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you. Hello.
And we also have with us Mr. Harish Sanduja, Director, Schools and IT, Jaipuria Group of Educational Institutions. Welcome, Mr. Sanduja.
Namaste. Hello, everyone.
We have with us Mr. Sanjeev Bansal, Additional Pro VC, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
And we have Mr. Santosh Narayankhedkar. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Narayankhedkar, right?
Narayankhedkar, yeah. Thank you very much. Namaste. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, sir. In fact, now coming into this discussion directly, my first question is to all the panelists here. It's a certain question. And starting off with Mr. Bansal. Mr. Bansal, how do you evaluate the budget's impact on making quality education more accessible and affordable for students from diverse backgrounds in India?
Good afternoon, Ms. Manjul. See, this budget, I mean, whenever the budget is going to be there are always very big expectations. And this time also we were expecting a lot, though I am not saying that this budget is not good. But there are number of points where this budget is speaking about education sector as a, education sector is in benefit, but there are certain things which are greatly missed also. So when I see the budget, though definitely 8.27 increase is a good increase, but when I see the school education, when I see the higher education, the increase is barely above the inflation, which is basically giving some hiccups also. The major miss which I feel here is everyone is speaking about Viksit Bharat, everyone is speaking about NEP 2020, and in this particular budget there are funding targets of NEP 2020 are missed. But at the same time, there are many good initiatives which are being taken, including National Institution of Design, including university townships and all. But this is basically my first take on the budget.
In fact, and I would continue the same question, Mr. Bansal. Listening to you, Mr. Bansal, I would continue the same question with Mr. Sanduja as well. So, Mr. Sanduja, your opinion on the same?
So, I was expecting that the budget would also be allocating something for AI, because we are on the cusp where AI can be a great leveler and equalizer in many ways, reaching out to all the children, and it can actually bring in equity. So that was something which I was expecting. But the budget seems to have allocated some value, but I think it can still be further done. If I compare with what is happening with the developed nations and how they are spending, obviously the expectations from the budget are always that we would try to match up with and increase our outlay for the education sector to more than 4%, but currently it is close to around 3%. So ideally, I feel that we should try to increase further. Uh, and essentially because AI is something which is coming up new, and it can be a big leveler, and we can actually catch up with the top countries in education if we actually leverage this thing better. So that was my thought on this, but I'm okay with what the budget has been allocated. Possibly it could have been done better.
Definitely, Mr. Sanduja. And in fact, with that, I would like to take a minute to welcome our final panelist for the day also, Mr. Mahadeo Jaiswal, the director for IIM Sambalpur. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Namaskar.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
So, in fact, the same question I would like to pass on to Mr. Akash Sharma now, that how do you evaluate the budget's impact on making quality education more accessible and affordable for students from diverse backgrounds?
Yeah, hi, and good afternoon to all my fellow panelists. See, I was expecting this. There is nothing substantial, to be very honest. I mean, it is more or less the same which we were expecting. Having smart cities is the core plan of the government. I don't know how many smart cities we have right now, but yes, I advocate for the smart campuses. AI is the need of the hour, and we are behind some of the countries. So when it comes to implementing technologies, when it comes to teaching students the curriculum which we are designing, so we need to think about that. Any student who is joining any institution, say an engineering program like BTech in 2026, will be coming out in 2030, after 4 years. And what technology will be emerging at that point of time. So this forecasting is very, very important, and we have to lay the foundation right now today. So I believe that funding is the major issue here, and how much is the private universities will be able to fund into such kind of technologies. That's a big question mark.
Definitely. And in fact, coming with the same question to Mr. Narayankhedkar. Mr. Khedkar, how do you evaluate the budget's impact on making quality education more accessible and affordable for students from diverse backgrounds?
Thank you. Thank you. My take is the quality education will require quality faculty, quality teachers, and that is the need of our, because most of the government institutions, government universities and government schools, the faculty is a parameter which is to be improved. The second parameter is education sector is like the foundation of all the growth for all the sectors. If you take the industries, if you take the healthcare, if this exports, education is going to play the fundamental role. The school education, degree educations, professional educations, and vocational educations. So all these are required to make the skilled manpower for our Viksit Bharat. So unless we inculcate the skills right from the school to the degree professionals, the dream of Viksit Bharat in 2047 will be a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And in fact, the same question to Mr. Jaiswal also, sir. Your take on this?
What is your question?
So my question was that what's your take on the budget, and how do you think that the budget would be helpful in getting affordable education for students across diverse parts of the country and diverse diverse parts of the country?
Okay. So, there are some new things in this budget. One is there is a proposal to set up a cluster universities, in some regions. I think that's a very good idea, because if you go and see in US, and there are clusters of institutions, like go to Boston, you'll have one cluster. You go to Los Angeles, you get a cluster, San Francisco. So I think cluster is something I think will help definitely different regions. If they can create 4 or 5 clusters, and that is what is proposed in this budget, and that will become more inclusive, because right now most of the top institutions are earlier were located mostly in big cities, okay, and scattered. And in cluster, what will happen is that there will be diverse university, there will be medical, because interdisciplinary, that is what a national education policy also states, that you need to have interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. That is also feasible then in terms of cluster. So if let's say eastern region, they do one cluster, western region, they do one cluster, and that can be developed, in terms of high quality inclusive education. Second plus positive side in this budget in terms of inclusive is they have decided to set up a girls hostel in every district. So that is also a part of inclusive. It's a very good step, very positive step in terms of bringing girls students from different regions. And accommodation is the most challenging challenge. When rural girls comes to town for the education, there has to be good quality hostels. So that is one. Then, and the third plus side of this budget is they have put about 2,500 crore on AI. So how that has to be used, that is up to the policymakers as well as educationalists. But AI is going to be the differentiator in education. And fourth plus is that they have also increased the expenditure on education. Earlier, last year it was 1.2 lakh crore, and this year it is 1.84 crore. So investment is also increasing. So these are the plus side. Now, how you improve the quality of education? That of course depends. Of course, first it depends on infrastructure, and if you don't have a quality infrastructure, and today infrastructure requires physical as well as digital both. Second is you need a well-trained quality faculty, which is a challenge currently right now. We don't have very qualified, there is a shortage of faculty in every institutions. And third, that is more important than first two, that is the pedagogical innovation. Like, are we still teaching the way lecturing mode? So pedagogy is changing now due to AI. I'll give example that I am Sambalpur. For example, last year, 1 year back, we introduced AI in the class. So AI is not teaching, but AI is doing cognitive assessment of students. So we have partnered with American partner platform called Breakout Learning, where every students are registered and course material loaded there. And 3 days before they are given the article or case, and when the class starts, there is no faculty. And students through peer interactions, they discuss based on the question which pop up every 30 minutes in the class. And every student has to speak, every student has to read, which was not there earlier. When there was no AI, hardly 5 or 10 students used to come prepared, and faculty used to teach only to those 5-10 students. And it was more faculty driven. Now it is student driven learning. So pedagogical innovation, that is what is possible through AI. And AI does the marking for each students, individual as well as group, using the Bloom's taxonomy, like layers 1 to 6. So if a student is talking only facts about the article, require then only 1 mark. If they were to explain the concept, then 2 marks. If they were to analyze the situation, 3 marks. Able to evaluate the decision, 4 marks. Able to apply in real life, then 5 marks, and able to create new idea, then 6 marks. So this way, the creative aspects of the individuals are also being judged. So I would say that pedagogy is the main focus, and you don't need huge infrastructure for that. You just need laptop and network connection and AI platform, and it can be done in any remote place. So I am Sambalpur, of course, claims to be the first institution globally to come out with this pedagogy. And without much of investment, we could do it. But thanks to AI platform, that is what it's possible. So this kind of pedagogical learning method has to be introduced. And then I think every inclusive means every student should be part of the class. It's not that every section of the society is already there, because fortunately, we have a system where we have people from diverse regions in every universities. Okay, so inclusiveness is not a challenge. Only challenge is within the class, whether it is inclusive or it is confined to only 5% of students in terms of learning and creating ideas. So I would say, I think it's a great time for Indian education. Only thing is we need to adopt the modern methods. That is called, we have to shift from teaching to learning. And you don't need more number of teachers. We need less number of teachers, but we need very innovative pedagogy. So I would say that now the government has given a lot of emphasis on AI. and we have to find out what is right to use. It should not just use for prompt engineering. That is a very traditional way of looking AI. We should look AI from pedagogical innovation and creativity rather than doing from the automation perspective. So this is what is my
Definitely, sir.
perspective. Yeah. Thanks.
Definitely, sir. And in fact,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. And my
Yeah.
question now would be to Mr. Narayankhedkar. Sir, how do you plan to address potential challenges in implementing the skill development and industry academia collaboration initiatives within the Somaiya Vidyavihar University?
Yeah, thank you. This is a very important point which we have been addressing for maybe couple of years. This has started through the formation of an incubator called Riddle. Riddle is research and innovation development at Somaiya, where the students, not from only the final year, not from only from PG and PhD, but from the first year, and even the school students are allowed to do the registration of their companies and convert their ideas into the products for the need of today. So this is one step which we have already taken. Another steps we have taken is we are now progressing towards the apprenticeship enabled degree program which is announced by UGC. So in that, minimum 50% time the student needs to spend in the university, and the remaining 50% the student can spend in the industry. So we will be progressing towards announcement of this, and we will require a lot of industry support to take care of the students who have registered in this program. The third point is industry driven and sponsored research. So in this, the research at the university is very much in alignment with the needs of the industry, with the needs of the society, and with the participation of the industry for sponsoring and involving as research partners. Thank you.
In fact, my next question now would be to Mr. Akash Sharma. Mr. Sharma, Mr. Sharma, how can Noida International University leverage the budget's initiative to enhance student outreach, international collaboration, and also placement opportunities?
Uh, See, the biggest challenge which we were facing from past many years is the technology part. Major of the students who are looking for any education in, especially in programs like BTech or maybe BCA, where technologies has a direct intervention. And what we have done is we have integrated some of the companies, and now they are designing their curriculum for our students. So we are taking their help, because ultimately those industries, these companies are going to absorb these students. So this is what we are doing. On the other hand, for the international students, it varies from country to country. There are certain countries. See, we have students from almost 65 plus countries now. So every country has their own way of thinking. And there are some countries where logistic and supply chain management programs are a hit. There are certain countries where programs like economics. Some countries have business. So that varies from country to country. And then there are students, especially from the African countries, they want to work outside their area. So Asia is their target, and India is, of course, one of the best when it comes to the education, and it is cheaper in nature as well. Now, what exactly this budget will give us? Students who are not only coming to India, if they are going abroad, will have relaxation in their taxations and everything. So it will encourage students to go abroad and to study in good universities. And some of our institutes in India or universities have their offshore campuses as well. Second, and the most important thing is that this current budget is the GDP target, and the budget allocated for education is roughly 6% short. If I talk about UGC, the funding is made cut by 60%, almost 61% to be very precise. And higher education cut is almost 10,000 CR. So when it comes to implementing schemes and rolling out, uh, is the most important thing, and we need to see that execution, whether we'll be able to execute this to the last student. Because when on at one point of time we are implementing schemes like this, and the on the other hand we are making a big cuts in the budgets. So let's hope, although overall if you see the budget, it seems to be very rosy, but yes, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
In fact, I believe, sir, everyone in the education sector would be keeping their fingers crossed on this. And
Hmm.
coming to Mr. Harish Sanduja now. Sir, given the budget's emphasis on skill development, how can schools and institutions effectively integrate industry relevant skills into their curriculum to prepare students for the future job markets?
I think it's a very interesting thing because NCRT and other platforms have started looking at skill development very seriously. They have started introducing content like Kaushal Both, where every child from grade 6 onwards to grade 8 will be exposed to three different kinds of works every year. So the children will be asked to put forth a project, one where they will have to work with the primary aspects of agriculture or growing something or something that has to be linked with the uh, primary or ways of living. And the second is with the machines, how the children will be taught to work with the machines. And the third is how to work with the humans, that is the service industry. So basically, each child from grade 6 to 8 will be given the exposure of working on these three basic areas every year, and at the end of the year they will be assessed on it. So that's how the skills will start getting implemented into the system. And from ninth to 12th there are various around 42 skill subjects which will be given out as an option to the children depending upon their interest areas, and then they will be able to utilize those skill subjects. And I think that will bridge the gap between what they want, what they are interested in, and what type of college that they want to go on to. Or if not college, then partially they are industry ready in that case because they would have already gathered some kind of skill through that. Apart from this, it is very critical that we develop the children with the literacy skills and the numeracy skills. So, the school education system is focusing a lot on the reading abilities of the children. Like at our school, what we do is we try to enhance the reading speeds of the children, because if the speed of reading of a child is slow, then very likely that the child will not be able to understand what sentence he or she is reading. So then what happens is children do not know, younger children, that reading is for understanding. So many young children keep making this mistake that they read without understanding what they have read. So that becomes a critical gap in the whole plan. So I think more and more schools are being made aware about this aspect of the literacy skill, that the children have to understand what has been read, and therefore their lexile scores or their ability to understand age relevant books is critical. Apart from that, the numeracy skills, which are connected with the literacy skills, have to be enhanced. And for that, nowadays, with the help of AI and all, we can track individual students with individual learning gaps, and those learning gaps can be actually bridged if we use some kind of help of AI. Therefore, the numeracy skills, the literacy skills, and the skills which make the children ready, all together, if you see, gets woven into a very good thread. And I think after a few years, you will see that most of the children in India will have the right skills to enter into the universities and the colleges and also into the industry. I think they're just making those right fitments that are required.
Definitely. In fact, now coming towards Mr. Sanjeev Bansal. Mr. Bansal, do you think that, how can private universities like Amity actually leverage budget allocations to enhance research and innovation and ecosystems?
Surely. See, Mr. Tarannum, if you permit me, before the budget, everyone was basically looking as an education sector. We were all looking for certain things, and the keywords here were digital learning, AI integration, and definitely employability. And everyone in the private sector or government sector, they were only looking for a few things like NEP 2020 implementation, to digital access to check on expansion. As Mr. Sanduja has said rightly about AI and future skills to enhance employability and other things. Now, at Amity, first of all, Amity is a big group, and with the presence in all the big states of India. So our problems are not basic. I will not say problems. Our challenges are slightly different. We are not speaking about as a institution in isolation, but in totality. In terms of research and everything, so I would only like to say that in terms of research and every related area, Amity is having basically a very good roadmap, and we are basically taking everything accordingly. Few things which I would like to point out, though everyone has spoken and they have actually given access about everything. One very surprise thing in this budget was that though we are speaking about Viksit Bharat and employability, but one major drop in the PM internship scheme was a slightly very surprising factor for me, where I saw that like around, out of the 10,000 crore last year's budget, this time this is being reduced to 50%. But in any case, I only want to say, Mr. Anum, that whenever we speak about the private sector, private education institution, we are always on the receiving end, and this is basically something, a challenge which we all have to bear, that despite of all the odds, how we have to see all these challenges, and that is what we are ready to do. Go for it.
Definitely. And in fact, with that, I'm coming now towards Mr. Mahadev Jaiswal and taking a question with Mr. Jaiswal. So, Mr. Jaiswal, how do you think that management schools like IIM Sambalpur contribute to creating entrepreneurial leaders as envisioned in the budget?
IIMs are supposed to be doing that only, but from the beginning, IIMs were doing more for the job market, and most of the IIMs are known only for crores of packages. I think time has come when we should start judging these institutions based on how many innovation-based entrepreneurship got developed in the IIM systems, and not necessarily that this has to be done by MBA students. I mean, right now, let's say entire AI is creating a huge amount of opportunities for new age entrepreneurs. And if you see in US, a lot of people are leaving jobs of multi-billion-dollar, and creating new startups. So definitely we'll look towards job creation. For example, the government has given emphasis on tourism. So tourism sector itself create more employment than any other sector. And there are countries like most of two-thirds of Europe and Southeast Asia, the entire economy runs on tourism. Okay. I think India does have great potential to build ecotourism, and state like Odisha and Sambalpur region has a very big potential for water sports and forest, and a lot of handloom, handicrafts kind of industries, which can be connected with tourism, heritage village, and a lot of international tourism can be done. So definitely we're looking that. Of course, our MBA and other programs will run as for the other IIMs, but local industries around tourism, handloom, and now also an energy, like most of the energy sectors are located in our region. Like you have all the factories of mineral and mining, whether it is MCL, whether it is Vedanta, whether it's Hindalco, all are located here near Sambalpur, and they will need a transition now. They'll have to go to green energy. So we need to create entrepreneurs who will create a new age of in energy sectors. And this industry will be closing down after 30-40 years. So Viksit Bharat 2047 requires three disruptions. One is all the businesses will go through digital disruption. So AI and digital will play the platform to create business. Second disruption will be decarbonization, where all the existing energies industries will have to shift, and all the manufacturing industry have to shift towards green energy. And third is the democratization of business, means all the startups will have to come into these sectors. So it's a right time for the institution like IIMs to move to get shift from job market to entrepreneurship. And I am Sambalpur, I already started doing. We have a huge program for master weavers of this region, so where we are creating businesses in the digital market like Flipkart and ONDC for the local weavers. We are also working for the tourism to promote. And since this budget has already highlighted that IIMs have to play a role in educating tourist guides and tourism sectors, in 10,000 tourist experts have to be trained by IIM. So I think that is the second, which is also part of entrepreneurship. And energy sector, like how you transit from coal and oil and gas based energy producers, and then entire automobile sector will also shift from consumption from mechanical consumption industry to electric vehicle. So there's a huge change and huge opportunities for entrepreneurs, and IIM systems definitely are well tuned to. I expect that people will take this new change in the entire education rather than just giving MBA education. I think we'll have to focus more on entrepreneurship, and that too more on the innovation driven entrepreneurship, not traditional SME. So I think it's the right time for us to get into this.
Definitely. And in fact, just taking one last question with Mr. Narayankhedkar. Mr. Khedkar, there was a lot of emphasis on AI yesterday, technical skilling and AI yesterday. Do you think that India is still ready to take on something like AI very strongly, since there's a lot of budget allocation for that?
Yeah, thanks, Tarannum. This question is like the key question. Is India ready? And what I think is, do we have option than thinking that are we ready? So we don't have options unless we jump and contribute and utilize and use the AI as part of our day-to-day activities to increase our productivity, increase the innovations, because AI does lot of things within short time. That doesn't mean it does everything. It gives the initial data, and then we can do the further innovations, development, and need of the society and need of the industry can be achieved. Hope that answers.
Definitely, definitely. And in fact, that was very wonderful, because education, as we all saw that, there was a lot of conversation about what education actually got yesterday. There was a lot of different opinions about what education has been given. And of course, the government has actually put down two things very categorically when we talk about education. One, skill development, job creation, of course, and AI. And we saw all our experts talking about various ways, like from school education to skill development to higher education, on how all these budget allocations and the budget announcements can actually be included and integrated into the education system. So in fact, I would just take a minute and now would like to thank all my panelists here, Mr. Harish Sanduja, Mr. Mahadeo Jaiswal, Mr. Sanjeev Bansal, Mr. Akash Sharma, and Mr. Narayankhedkar for joining us for this panel discussion and sharing their wonderful insights. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much for sparing your time for this discussion. I hope you also had a great time, listening to each other's views out here, and of course, sharing your views on the budget 2026-27. And thank you so much, and have
Thank
a
you,
great
thank you, and thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.
meeting.